Welcome to Weight Off Without Willpower. My name's Kimberly Carter-Paige, and I specialize in using hypnotherapy to change the way people like you think about food and weight reduction. You see, the key to permanent weight loss isn't diets, it isn't shakes, it isn't pills. It's something new, something that we've probably all known about but have never really explored. And that's all about to change. But to start with, I'll give you my story. I believed I was born fat. And it wasn't until I started my journey using this new method that I realized that I was actually underweight. I was a prem baby, so I certainly wasn't born fat, so I didn't have to take on that identity. But I tried every diet going. You name it, I tried it. All of them throughout my life, as young as I can remember. And every time I lost the weight did come off. But every time it went back on again. It didn't change anything. I just lost the weight and put it back on. And sometimes, often, I'd put more back on. I remember going to, I think it was Slimming World, after I'd had my twins. And we all sit round in a meeting room together, and the person who's running the course asks us, why we want to lose the weight. And I remember saying, I wanted to lose the baby weight since having my twins. Everybody in the group was, oh, how cute. How old are they? To which I replied, they're 16. I battled all the time, and there was always some excuse, but I never seemed to keep it off. I remember going to a hospital appointment once, and this skinny blonde nurse needed to take my weight. And when I stood off the scale, she said, oh yes, that's it, you're obese. And she'd wrote this down on her clipboard. And I was mortified. I mean, to me, obese were those people that are stuck in their beds, hugely overweight and have to be lifted out because they can't walk or move by themselves. But no, according to medical records, I was obese. Well, of course, that didn't make me feel any better, and it certainly didn't make me want to lose weight. I just spiraled into self-hatred again. You see, I dreaded the scales because the scales to me meant that I wasn't good enough. Every time I got on, it showed me that I was overweight. Overweight according to the medical records of the weight you should be. Always overweight. And so I judged myself as not being enough, or more than enough in the way of my body had a lot more fat than it should have. And it just made me self-loathe and hate myself. Didn't want to look in the mirror, just felt awful. I tried the denial. I tried just avoiding the mirrors, throwing out the scales, just buying clothes with elasticated waists, and pretending it didn't really matter, telling everybody I was happy with the way I looked, but deep down I wasn't. And it spiraled down into depression because I remember whenever my husband and I were due to go out anywhere, we were meeting friends, or if it works do, and I felt I needed to look smart or wanted to feel like I could look attractive, I'd spend the whole day trying on so many different outfits and just throwing them all in the corner, just hating every single one of them, to the point then I didn't want to go out because I thought, I'm never going to look as glamorous as the other women. It's pointless. I just won't go. And I had the dieter's mindset. So what is the dieter's mindset? Well, for me, it was when I went to these Weight Watchers or these classes, it was thinking that I'd struggled all week, I'd deprived myself of all the things I wanted, and then turning up to class and losing 200 grams. And then just thinking, what is the point? I'm so disappointed. You're so useless. You can't lose this weight. That's it. I'm going to eat a donut. Or turning up to class and then saying, woohoo, you've lost 1.5 kilos. And then me thinking, yay, I'll celebrate. I'll go and have a donut. You see, the dieter's mindset doesn't make sense. You know, we reward ourselves when we feel good and we comfort ourselves when we feel bad. We're using food as a drug of choice. I used to feel it was all my own fault. You know, it was my fault I was fat because you eat this and you shouldn't eat that. But is it? I began to wonder, you know, is there anything I could do? Was I deliberately sabotaging? I wasn't aware that I was. So what's your why? Do you want to be perfect? If you're looking out of this program to receive a body like one of these pictures, I'm sorry, that's something that just isn't going to happen. You see, the media show us these sorts of things as this is the perfect body, but these people have been photoshopped, shadowed, you know, the spray tanning, even the lines and muscles have been put in after the photo has been taken. You're never going to achieve that look, so stop trying. Maybe as a child, I wonder if you wished you were bigger. See, some of my clients have come out with amazing things under hypnotherapy, as in, you know, sitting on the bed as a child and thinking, I feel empty. And then the mind taking it to the next level that, well, if you ate this, you wouldn't feel empty. And then that carrying on through their lives. Or maybe if they were bullied, or maybe they saw violence in their family and they thought, well, if only I was bigger, I could stop it. And have grown up with that mindset. You see, the mind does what you want it to do. So the words you say to yourself and the pictures you create in your head create your reality. And there's plenty of research about this. There's Dr. Joe Dispenza and Dr. Bruce Lipton, John Assaraf, many people out there now that are understanding how we think is what we achieve. And so if you're standing in front of the mirror saying, my bum's the size of a house, or look at my fat thighs, or I'm so huge, when you're clearly not, then your body's going to hold on to that excess weight because it thinks that's what you want. So when you're looking in the mirror, what do you see? Are you ashamed? Embarrassed? Do you not want to look in a mirror? How does it affect you emotionally? You see, diets deprive us. Our willpower is about 5% of our mind, which is our conscious mind. Our conscious mind says that we want to lose weight, so I'm not going to eat this, I'm not going to do that. That's 5%. Yes, I'm going to resist it. But our programming, our subconscious mind, is 95% of our brain. And that's the little one on your shoulder going, nah, go on, you've got to have it. You know you want to. Or go and have that extra glass of wine. You've had a bad day. You could do with it to de-stress. Or, oh, well, you've had 2 cookies anyway, so what's another 3 going to do? You know, we've got those little things on our shoulders, that inner programming that's going against what consciously we are wanting to achieve. So are you ready for a new approach that's easy? That means there's no more cravings. That means you can eat the foods you want to eat. That you don't feel deprived. So as I say, my name's Kimberly Carter-Paige. And this program, Weight Off Without Willpower, is going to help you to be the 2% that maintain the weight loss. You see, 98% of diets work and people lose weight. But only 2% of the people that go on a diet maintain that weight loss for more than a year. So are you excited to know how you can do this? See, there's no deprivation. There's no foods that you cannot eat. You don't have to live on a couple of cucumber slices. You don't have to weigh everything that goes in your mouth. You don't have to have replacement meals by having a cardboard tasting shake. And you don't have to take pills and potions. None of these with this new approach. See, this approach is the virtual gastric band hypnotherapy, but without the surgery. So your subconscious mind, your inner programming, doesn't understand the difference between imagination and reality. So although your conscious mind will know you've not had a gastric band fitted physically, your subconscious mind will feel that band and will feel fuller, quicker. Try this as an exercise. Just think of your favorite food. Close your eyes, just think of the food that you love the most. And as you close your eyes, imagine that food in your hand and bring your hand up nearer to your nose. And imagine smelling that favorite food. Just imagine it's in your hand and you're just about to eat it. Now you should notice that your saliva glands are getting ready to digest that food, because your body doesn't know the difference. Your body doesn't know that that food isn't in your hand when your eyes are closed. It's the same with phobias. People who are frightened of spiders are just as frightened when they see an image in their head of a spider as when the spider's physically there. The body doesn't know the difference. It still puts them into fight, flight, or freeze when it senses fear. So with the virtual gastric band hypnotherapy, we find the reason for your eating. Maybe you eat when you're bored. Maybe you eat to comfort yourself because you're just feeling upset or sad. Maybe it's because you're stressed and you've had a hard day at work and you reward yourself. Or maybe it's just a habit and you don't even know you're doing it. You know, you're happily cooking tea and eating biscuits while you're doing it without even realizing it. You see, once you know the reason, we can change that inner programming. We can change that voice in your head that's telling you to go on, have it. We can remove those food cravings so that you don't store food, you don't hide it, you don't eat as much as you can just in case it's not there anymore. I trained under Sheila Granger, and in the UK trials, they're showing a 95% success rate. Now, the success rate of my clients is exactly the same. People are really surprised at how easy it is and the success that they have. And it's so good in the UK that even the National Health Service are now funding this virtual gastric band because it's cheaper than the real surgery and certainly a lot safer. So if it's time for you to stop dieting and start acting and thinking like a thin person, then contact me or listen to my upcoming webinar. At the bottom of this page, I'm going to run a free webinar where you can ask me questions and I can explain how this system works. I'll be running a few of these, so watch out for my marketing when it's advertised. It'll be on either on the Facebook page or on the bottom of the advert at YouTube. Book in for my webinar, contact me on my website, email me, and I'll send you the link so that you can attend my free webinar. Let's change the diet and turn it into a way of eating that's easy, effortless, and natural. And you can maintain that weight loss forever. Don't miss out. Check out my next date, and I look forward to meeting you then.